Go.
Yes, my people, this is Vinny's voice. I'm joined by Loza today, aka Lauren Baker.
Hello, hello. Thank you so
Loza,
much for having me.
no problem. How are you this morning?
So good. Been a very busy bee, but things are great over in Loza HQ.
That's really,
No, yeah, really good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're all good too.
yeah, all good here. I just noticed a couple days ago you did post Instagram story about some fight news coming up. Could you give
Mm.
a little snippet to what that could entail?
Now, I'm not one to leak, but yes, hopefully should be fighting in the next couple months. I know it's nearly been a year since I've been in the ring, which is crazy to think about. But yes, should be back in the ring soon. Opponents wise, I think it's pretty clear and obvious who'll be next to me, but I'm not trying to leak anything.
That's good to hear. So you've obviously been out from the ring for a while. Have you been keeping training in the gym, or has it been a bit of on and off since May?
Absolutely. I mean, it's fair to say I was a bit on and off because I had a massive transition with work and situations changed, but
Yeah,
I've managed to get myself into an amazing position. And I would say there's been a massive transition period since my last fight. I'm in a new gym. I'm learning new things. I've been able to prepare a lot longer than the 6 weeks I had last time, as well as just being in an amazing place with work. So I'm in just a fantastic environment, and I cannot wait to show you guys how much I've improved since the last one.
oh, that's really cool. So I'd like to ask you, how did Mams first approach you? Because I'm pretty sure I was doing a bit of research. You did a white collar fight for charity before Misfits. So how did that sort of work out?
Yeah, so I did a little white collar fight for charity just because how my boxing journey started. I wanted to raise money for a charity that kind of complemented that. And then I went on another platform, boxed on there in a bigger venue, more eyes on me at the O2 Indigo. And then a couple months later, the Misfits opportunity came. Mams sort of knew about me after the DKM event that I was on, after I got a win on there. And it was just a case of right place, right opponent, right time. Before taking the Vampira fight, I believe there was 5 other people that got offered and they all declined. And I was the one that stepped up, hence the kind of maybe lesser notice than what would have been ideal. But to be honest, with me being an athlete for so long, like before boxing, I was an elite footballer. I'm not gonna fear away just because I might not have enough time. Like I'll always back myself, and I think that's just a natural thing that all athletes would do. Um, and it's important to stay ready, which is something that I've learned, especially in the new gym I'm at, with how things can change. So I think Mams gained a lot of respect for me for taking that fight when other people wouldn't. Obviously, Vampira, she's had a title shot. I would agree in saying that people were scared of her. But no, I'm always here to challenge and push myself. So yeah, and then from then, we all know what happened in that fight.
Yeah.
And I think people are ready to see the rematch.
Yeah, so you obviously mentioned your footballing career. I believe you spent you were in the under 21s for Birmingham. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I had a good two years in Birmingham. I'm forgetting, like honestly, it feels like a whole other life that I lived. Yeah, I did the whole circuit. I was at Tottenham, I played for England, I was at Charlton, played for Birmingham, and I was up and down in first teams. Like I was basically just a little academy circuit bunny. But no, it was great, and I learned a lot about being an elite athlete, and it's
Yeah.
something that I'm so used to when it comes to stepping across into Misfits. And I think a lot of people saw it in my style. Like I was not tiring, my legs, I was bouncing the whole time. That definitely would have helped with all the years of football that I've done.
Yeah. So from that transition to football to boxing, was it because was there like an injury, or why it was like why the sort of like transition from football to boxing?
Yeah, so I don't want to make this too deep, but my
Oh,
mum,
yeah.
she got a really severe illness, and I already felt with football I was at a bit of a crossroads because luckily for me, where I'd stepped up into first team environment, I was training with these ladies, high level ladies. I could see things for what they were, and unfortunately, women's football, they don't always have the backing that they need.
Yeah.
Not everything's about money. You need to have passion, but for me, I knew long term I've got goals that I want to reach, and football might not have allowed me to do that. And so my mum, she's a physio, and when I was kind of in that transition period of not knowing what to do, because I also didn't want to waste my parents' time in driving me to
Yeah.
training when there's such a bad illness that my mum has. One of her patients is a boxing coach. And mum was kind of talking to him about me, and he said, "Well, why doesn't she sign up for this?" And honestly, that's how I signed up for it. It was for charity, and my mum was going through cancer, and the charity was for cancer research. So it just felt right, and I just fell
Yeah.
in love with it from there. So that's another reason why I just kind of push on with it, because it's not just that I enjoy the sport, it's the kind of reasons as to how I got into the sport that really fuel me.
No, that's a very, very inspiring story.
Oh, thank
So
you.
yeah, no problem. So obviously transitioning from football to boxing, football being a team sport, and boxing being individual sport, how hard is that, for you mentally?
Honestly, not that hard. When it comes to football, I was always going above and beyond, always doing one-to-one sessions, always having that personal trainer. Like I was always going above and beyond. And yeah, it's so important to be in a team, but I did a lot of training by myself, even in that team sport. So when coming into boxing, it kind of feels like everything's on my shoulders. When you get into the ring, ain't nobody gonna fight for you. That's more of a comfortable place for me to be in, because if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. If I draw, I draw. Like
Yeah.
there can't be any mistakes from anywhere else, because all the accountability is on me, and like I'm so much more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Especially as like how I train. Like at the end of the day, I don't know whether this sounds selfish, but I think when it's all you, it's just all the more sweeter. And you can really learn. You can learn so much. You can learn so much about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I personally haven't done boxing. Obviously, I play football, still play football, but like,
Sick.
yeah. But I've tapped into tennis for like a couple of years, and it was like, for me, it was like a very sort of shift because it was just me on the court myself, me and my coach. But then when I played football, or when I still play football, got a good group of lads, and I think it's for me, it's like easier mentally because it's sort of like a more teamwork. But like I see in boxing, it's like just you. At the end of the day, you can do all the training with your S&Cs, your head coaches, but at the end of the day, it's going to be you and another opponent in that ring.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, like throughout my football career, like we won some amazing things. I experienced some amazing things. And it was awesome that we all could do that together. But I think with how I am in sport, like how I am in the gym, individual sports I think actually suit me better. And my parents were like great in supporting me in football. Like they could see the talent, they could see everything, but they were both martial artists themselves. So I think me coming into boxing, I've had an amazing support network in the sense of transitioning from a team sport to a individual sport in the fight game where you're putting your health on the line.
yeah,
I've been really lucky and fortunate that my parents were both high level martial artists as well. So it's just kind of been a win-win for me in terms of the transition. It wasn't difficult because when you're in the gym, more time you're training with people anyway, so you can egg each other on, you can push each other. And the new gym I'm
yeah.
at, I'm very much so the tiny little fish, learning from all of these amazing professionals, which is a great place to be in. And I'm so excited as to how that'll translate into the ring. Really am.
Yeah, I mean, I speak for everyone in the crossover space. We are definitely excited to see you fight again soon. But I'd like to ask you about the Misfits female crossover boxing space. I don't know whether you have the same opinion as me, but I feel since like last year there hasn't been that many female influencers stepping into the space. I'll say there's a lot more obviously like the BKFC thing or page fans of the MMA background. But what do you think the sort of, I would say, decline in female influence actually stepping into the Misfits boxing space?
I think you can look at it, you can definitely see it like that. But when I step back and look at it, I actually credit Mams here because I really do see that Mams is trying to make genuinely good female fights.
Yeah.
He's definitely going a quality over quantity approach. And this is no hate to anybody that maybe fought on the platform before that, I don't know, potentially underperformed. Like, I think with the girls, Mams is doing a great job in showcasing and ensuring that the audience respect the female fighters by making these good matchups, by making it closer matchups. You know, a lot of people don't want to, I mean, you get like the Modine Wakey Wines fight, for example, the Afghan Dan, is his name, Little T fight. You've got them fights. Right. But I think he's doing a great job of balancing that. And I think with the women, it's really important that they're respected by the audience, and in doing so, like, you need to make sure the matchups are good, but also the matchups are of people that are working hard. Like, I think a great case is Aria Wild. Like, she's probably the most active female influencer boxer that there is, but she's pushing herself and she's taking the hard fights. She fought Chris Cyborg. Like, who else has agreed to that fight? She's a tough cookie, and now she's getting her opportunity, and I think that's a great showcase of like what Mams is trying to do for us girls. And for me personally, like, it's great to see everybody out and active, but I also love to see the high level fights and like the close fights, the contended fights, the girls that are actually really working hard and putting time into this. Like, I think it's very empowering. So 100%, like, there's not as many female fights. There used to be at least one per card. That's not really the case anymore, but I also see it from the perspective as I think Mams is trying to ensure that when there is a female fight, it's a good female fight.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I like to see it. I do like to see it. And I think looking at the website, there is a few new faces that haven't stepped in. And I think it's so much credit to the influencers like Carla Jade, Elle Brooke, Jilly, like they're all fighting professional fighters. This is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
How far it's come.
In the third or fourth fight, they're already fighting, you know, BKFC fighters who've had, you know, they've been in combat sports their whole life. So it's quite commendable. Very commendable, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that's great for it moving forward. To keep seeing that, like the more influencers that can go toe to toe. Like one matchup that always comes back to me is Elle Brooke and Paige Van Zandt.
Oh yeah.
What an absolute banger. You know, it just goes to show that if people who work hard and really do put in the mileage, really do live and breathe the boxing, it shows. It shows.
Exactly.
And I think that's great.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
I couldn't agree more with you. So obviously Misfits 21 is what, in a couple days? Well, 2 days.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gassed.
I mean, yeah, because the time difference, I would have to wake up at like what, 6 a.m. on a Saturday to watch it. But goodness. You know, yeah, the time difference. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But other than, in my opinion, my fight of the night is gonna be Wakey Wines and Modine 100%.
Fair.
I've already seen the press conference, tables being thrown, exchanges. Like, I'm genuinely hyped for that fight. But other than that, for yourself, who do you think is gonna, I would say, shock the audience?
Shock?
Yeah.
From little birdies that I've heard, Jordan Banjo.
Yeah.
Jordan Banjo. No. And I'll just put a full stop after that. But I'm so excited to watch Fox and Waleed. I'm so excited for that fight. Really can't call it. My opinion changes every hour. I just think it's going to be awesome. I think there's so many good matchups. Like that main event, Idris and Ty, like seeing Joey Knight back against, like there's going to be some good fights here.
Yeah, very, very good fights.
We've been blessed with a great card. The heavyweight tournament, like that's going to be amazing, as well as seeing Chase being in and amongst that as well. Like I think the heavyweights are really like building really nicely. Tempo back. Really,
Right.
I'm hoping to see Tempo and Tobes in there. Like, I think there's going to be so many good moments. It's a great card.
Yeah. Would you be watching live in Derby or no?
I'll be watching from home. Sadly, I would have loved to have been there. Seeing the atmosphere at the press conference yesterday, I thought severe FOMO. But no, I'm a hard worker, so I've got to stay put. I'll be in the gym on Friday, so the grind doesn't stop over here.
All right. So for the rest of the year, what are your plans boxing wise? Do you want to have, potentially more than one fight? Would you want a title fight? What's in the horizons for you?
I think it's fair to say the winner of me and Vampira, we're up there in good conversations for big fights, I think. Me and her is going to be a banger this time
Yeah.
around. I'm not going to give too much of how I'm aiming to fight away, but I think it's fair to say we're both respected females and the winner could be onto big stuff, but I just take each fight as it comes. I don't really like to look past people. So whoever my next opponent is, like, I'm knocked in on them, and then whatever happens after that, basically. Like, I definitely aim to be in the gym a lot more, the boxer gym a lot more, after my fight, because I do want to keep active. And the next one will be a big one. But to be honest, I think time will tell. Time will tell. I'm young. I'm a baby in this. I'm a
Yeah.
baby compared to everybody. Like, I think I'm like 10 years younger than most of the girls, even 20, pushing 20 years younger than some of them. So I think with me, I'm like very, very similar to Fox. It's like our fights are unpredictable. We're young.
Yeah.
So our paths will be very different to others. We have longevity in this if we want it to be. So yeah, it's more of a like, we take each fight as it comes, which for me is quite exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we'll wrap things up here, but my last question is to you. I ask this at the end of all my interviews. What's the best quote or best advice that you've heard or that someone has told you in your life?
Ooh. Do you know what just came to my head? It's when the going gets tough, get going. Like, F all excuses, like, crack on. And do you know what? Yeah, a bit of advice that I always try and tell to people is follow your passion. Like, if you truly work hard at something, whatever's calling you from within, if you truly work hard at it, you can succeed in it. And I've shown myself that time and time again. Misfits is a great example. I started on the interview circuit.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was really like eyeing out fights and stuff, but I worked hard and an opportunity came, and had I not have put myself in those situations, it probably wouldn't have happened. So I would definitely, honestly, like, as simple as it is, it's literally 3 words, but follow your passion, especially you young guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it, and wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another interview in the books. Thank you so much, Loza, for your time. Much appreciated. And with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you when you're older. Don't go changing. Bye-bye.